Hey everybody, how you doing today? Derek here. So I thought for the first video I'd start with that which underpins our stock market here in the Western world. It's the same one they use in the States. It's a system called continuous net settlement. It is an efficient system when used properly, but it does open the door for crime. And we'll get to that later. So first I'll show you how it works, and then we'll go through a couple of definitions, I guess, just a few things you should know about, a few terms that you'll hear going forward in these videos. So to demonstrate how the continuous net settlement system works, I'm going to use my trusty whiteboard. So hopefully you can see this okay. I don't know about the numbers. Again, bear with me. I'm fairly new at this. Try and get this a little closer. So here we have our stock market, this big box. This little box in the middle, that's the CDS, the Canadian Depository for Securities. That's where all stocks are held and pretty much never leave. Something you should know is that any stocks you have in your trading account, you don't actually own. It's a beneficial entitlement, so you just benefit from if the stock goes up. I guess you benefit if it goes down, I don't know. But yeah, you don't actually own it. It is held at the CDS in trust for you. And yeah, that leads to, again, a little bit of crime and the way things go down. So again, I hope you can see the board decently enough. If not, I'm going to just describe what's going on here. So anyways, in this brokerage, this box here, we got buys and sells, 1 million buys, 1.2 million sells. So in any given day when you're trading, you will see things move back and forth pretty instantly in your trading account, right? You buy shares, they settle like seconds later. They're in your account, your money's gone. Vice versa, if you sell, money ends up in your account, your shares are gone pretty quick. But nothing really happens until after hours, after the trading is done for the day, or maybe in the next morning when they settle everything out from the day. So again, we had 1 million buys, 1.2 million sells at this brokerage. So that's a minus of 200,000 shares. They're short 200,000 shares based on what they netted in the day. This guy down here, again, 1 million, 1.2 million. They're also short 200,000 shares. This brokerage, 1.2 million buys, 1 million sells. So these guys are actually plus 200 for the day, and same with this guy up here. So all this system really does is it nets the daily volume and cancels out what it can and sends it to a central pool at the CDS. And the CDS takes care of that just by matching. So here we can see extra 200, minus 200. They match those. They send that over there. Now they are settled out. They're settled out. Same thing here. Now they're settled out. They're settled out. Now that's not 0 shares. That's just 0 of what's owing in a balance. This is going to come in handy later, because when these shares move from one brokerage or one stock seller to another, it creates more locates. You're going to want that word for later. So these guys just got 200,000 more locates. These guys got 200,000 more locates. You'll see why this is important most likely in the next video. But this is the basic way of how the stock market works. Again, it just basically all day long, it keeps track of buys and sells, cancels them out, sends it to a central pool, and that central pool then balances the books, so to say. And that's how the continuous net settlement system works. So, like I said, there's probably a couple of terms I should inform you about now. You'll hear about in future videos. So when a company lists to sell stock, let's say they apply, they're going to list 100 million shares. So there's the TSO, that's the total shares outstanding. That's 100 million shares. But then there's what they call the float. That's what's tradable back and forth every day on the stock market. The reason this differs is because clearly people like the president of the company, all the people on the board, all those insiders, they're gonna buy some shares and hold them. So they do that. They buy a bunch and they hold them. They can't sell them as easily as you and I can, like instantaneously. They have to file paperwork and go through a process, and it takes a while. So it's not a quick process. The same thing with any institutions that are holding stocks of this. So like in pension plans, in like other financial securities dealers, like I don't know if you know what an ETF is, but again, there's lots of ways where a certain amount of shares get locked up and can't be sold back and forth all the time. So that leaves what's called the float. So let's say out of 100 million shares, 25 million were locked up for insiders, institutions, that kind of thing. There's 75 million shares left to trade on a daily basis. That is called the float. So you'll hear about that coming soon. What else? What else can I tell you? I guess that's it for now. Like, again, in all honesty, I'm kind of new at this, just trying to get information to people. But yeah, I'm sure I'll come at you with more soon. And this is just a doorway to the fuckery. So please follow along. Thanks.